True Patriot Wood Designs. I'm Jeff Turner, the Airborne Scroller. Let me puzzle you. Alright, so tonight I know I gotta get some better light in here, but we're gonna be working on these very basic hummingbird patterns. This is actually the first puzzle I ever started with. And I really like cutting this. It's just a fun pattern to cut. And like I said, it's kind of sentimental. It's the first puzzle I've ever cut, and let's get started. So we're gonna start out with the scroller's drill. We're gonna just drill a pilot hole, and then we're gonna drill the eyes also for the and really we just need one pilot hole, and I think for the I got another piece of the pattern right here, so we're gonna drill another pilot hole real fast, and then I'm gonna get a drill bit, a little bit bigger drill bit for the eyes. If you've never seen one of these, this is, and you've probably seen it in one of my other videos, but that was a while back when I started filming those. This is a scroller's drill made by Seiko, the same people who made my scroll saw. And it's just a handy dandy tool if you're a scroll saw artist. You know, so some people are like, well, why don't you cut your puzzles with that new high-speed laser you got? And everybody always asks me, like, hey, is your work CNC? And I'm like, no, it's hand cut with a scroll saw. Well, my laser will not cut 3/4 inch wood. And I don't know if I could actually convert the pattern. I probably could convert the patterns. I've been converting some scroll saw patterns to laser, but I don't know. We're going to drill these eyes a little bit bigger. Just because we can. And the one thing you got to remember with the scroller's drill is it's not a high power drill, so you gotta kind of go a little bit slower than you would. And there we got our holes drilled. And I did want to take the time to show you guys something that I have not showed you guys in the past. So I have told you I've used modified geo blades, right? And if you look on this blade label, I gotta find it. Well, it's not actually on this one. Alright, so if you look on this blade label that I have, it shows the size number 60 drill bit, right? So I have a couple of those, and that's the size hole that your blade will fit, and that's what I drilled first. And that way you always make sure, if you're drilling like really small intricate details, like I drilled some on a Harley puzzle I did earlier tonight. Alright, now, True Patriot Wood Design. So I was telling you guys True Patriot wood designs. I was going round and round about what to call True Patriot wood designs when we first started. And I come up with what I thought was a really cool name. Airborne 73, right? Because I had 73 static line jumps out of aircraft while I was in the military. And to me it sounded really cool, but more or less like, nobody's going to know what that means except you. What the 73 means, they're going to think either you were born in 73 or one of the kids was born in 73 or whatever. So I was like, yeah, you're right. And then she's like, Airborne, it might be cool to you, but it's not cool to everybody. I'm like, why is it not cool to everybody? But, you know, and that's usually the case with airborne guys. We think being airborne is like super cool, and nobody else is like, that's not really cool. You guys just jump out of airplanes, man. What's the big deal? So she's like, come up with something else. And I was like, okay. So I come up with Patriot, and then she's like, she kind of added a True Patriot. And I was like, yep, that's us, because we're a military family. We always have been, always will be. And that's how we got the name True Patriot Wood Designs. And then the logo, I have went back and forth, man. And this go around, I had AI to design some really cool stuff. You guys might have seen some of the really cool stuff I had AI design. And then I just happened to look at my wall and see that portrait of me sitting at my scroll saw that a local artist here in the Wiregrass drew. She was kind of doing characters at the Fort Rucker Christmas Bazaar, and I was like, hey, can you draw me while I'm at the scroll saw? And she's like, let me take a picture. That way if you move, I can keep drawing. And when she was done, I just was absolutely in love with it. And I was like, you know what? That is so simple. But it says a lot. It means a lot to me, because right here at this scroll saw is where it all started, you know. And yeah, I got a really cool laser down there in the shop, but you guys keep buying my puzzles, you keep watching the YouTube videos about the puzzles, you're interested in the puzzles. So we'll always have a scroll saw in the shop, and we'll always be running a scroll saw in the shop. So we're actually cutting out one of the hummingbirds right now. It's actually the coolest piece of this puzzle. It's actually kind of cool because the hummingbird sets on one of the flowers of this puzzle. And I got one that's really detailed. This one's kind of simplistic, but like I said, it's kind of got some sentimental value. And that's me anyway. I'm simplistic. We're going to cut some detail out of the wing while I'm in here. And some of you that never watched me do this before, you're like, man, his fingers were awful close to that blade. This blade is like a, a sewing machine needle would hurt you worse than this blade will. I've cut myself with this blade before while it's running at full speed, and it's like getting a paper cut, really. A scroll saw is the safest tool in the shop. you get more of a chance of losing your finger to a sewing machine needle than you do a scroll saw blade, really. Now, I will tell you, I guess I was about, I had to be 14 or 15 because I was taking world history. Well, maybe 15 or 16. I was taking world history. And I had this project due that I kind of forgot to tell my dad about. And I wanted to make a catapult. So I went downstairs to my dad's bandsaw and started cutting out the wheels to the catapult. And I almost cut my pinky finger off with my dad's bandsaw. I kind of got banned from the tools for a little bit after that, but he ended up finishing my catapult for me. It's kind of a funny story. Now, it wasn't back then. But I wanted to pick a project that will actually finish on camera. Sometimes I don't always finish on camera, and you guys don't always see the end result. So this is pretty easy, pretty simplistic. I'm even gonna show you my present finishing system. I actually got about 14 puzzles laying over there. I think I cut 2 today, and I had one already laying over there. So I got actually 13 puzzles laying over there that I need to cut. We're gonna finish one right here real fast, just for this YouTube project. And you guys who have not seen my videos, I cut the puzzles out of 3/4 inch poplar. And why poplar, you say? As I've stated in my videos, it's the easiest hardwood to get. Every Lowe's, every Home Depot, every big box store sells that 3/4 inch poplar, so it's really easy to get, and it just becomes a thing. I can get, depending on the puzzle patterns, I can get 15 to 20 puzzles out of a board. And I'm using a different process than I had before. I used to just do these one at a time and cut them up, but I'm trying to save as much wood as I can. And every piece of wood I can, every piece of the wood that I can, I'm going to use. So I'm using a different process that my friend Scott Seifer posted on his YouTube channel, and I'll show you guys that in the near future. I'm just gonna copy his entire process, and I think it'll make the process go a little bit faster. All right, we're out, and we're gonna pull this out. And our hummingbird is done. We're going to cut him into puzzle pieces. here. Yeah, so you just want to stay on the line, you know, and everybody's like, I can't cut with a scroll saw. It's not that you can't cut with a scroll saw, right? You think a scroll saw designed to cut a straight line, it's not, so you have to be conscious of that and learn how to use the tool, right? It's like anything. You have to learn to use it, be a little patient with it when you first start. I started with a Porter cable we bought for $200. Maybe 300, and I like doing this so much. I cut my first scroll saw piece. It was a Christmas ornament. I cut my first scroll saw piece in our living room. And then I turned this, it's kind of a utility closet on the back side of our bedroom into kind of a workshop. And I turned our storm cellar into the other part of the workshop. That's where the laser and the wood lathe, the router. I got a miter saw down there that's put up. Sometimes that'll happen when you're around a corner. You just gotta stop. Went around it a little too fast. And a lot of people will cut the hummingbird out of a different color wood. It's actually pretty cool to do that. Or they'll cut multiple hummingbirds out of different colored woods and then piece them all back together. That's a bit difficult because all your puzzle cuts have to be precise. I mean precise, so they all fit back into those slots. And we got one more puzzle piece and our hummingbird will be done. And then we'll cut our flower. And just like that, our hummingbird is done. I'll piece him back together. And when it's done, we use a little bit of shelf paper to glue him on. I think this one I actually had to glue it straight to the wood a little bit, because the pattern kept wanting to come up. But we're gonna sand him off anyway. There we have our, let me see. We have our little hummingbird. Alright, let's cut the flower out, and we're just gonna do one of these tonight. I said I wanted to get some content done for you guys. And what I'll probably do is just cut the shape first, and then it'll be easier to cut the puzzle parts. Hummingbird will actually sit just like that. Of course, we'll sand it all down and make it look pretty. We'll cut these flowers off first. we're just gonna use a handy dandy mouse sander to sand this down just a little bit. It's got some 220 grit on it. This is my handy dandy small dipping station. I'm going to change this hopefully in the next week. And all I do is some Waco Danish oil. I think I've used all of this though. Yeah, good thing I'm changing things up this week. And we're just gonna first put on some gloves. Ignore the messy shop, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this. We're changing this. We're gonna actually start, instead of Danish oil, we're gonna start dipping these in mineral oil, food grade mineral oil. Make sure it's completely covered, and we'll wipe them down. Yeah, the Danish oil is a little bit more expensive, so and plus I think the food grade oil will give it a better they give the puzzle a more natural shiny look anyway. So I'm gonna switch it up and try something different. Almost forgot 2 pieces. Set these pieces up, set them up like that. That way they can drain off. Towels. And we're just gonna wipe the excess oil off. And let it dry for a few hours. Hey guys, that's gonna do it for us tonight here at True Patriot Wood Designs. I'm Jeff Turner, the Airborne Scroller. I appreciate you watching my videos. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I promise I'm not gonna blow this. We're gonna have weekly content. Some scroll saw stuff, some laser stuff, maybe even me playing a guitar. If you want to hear the world's worst guitar player, I don't know. You guys tell me what you want me to scroll out, and I will. Even if I'm not scrolling a portrait, tell me anything you want to see done on a scroll saw, and I'll try to make it happen. It's what I'm good at. I was trying to get out of the. I was actually trying to get out of the scrolling business, but that's probably never going to happen. It's obviously I'm pretty okay at it, and I think I should keep doing it. But I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Again, like, subscribe. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. This is the Airborne Scroller. I'm out.